Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our meeting. Welcome to the public meeting of the Board of Education. In accordance with Executive Order 2020-48, this meeting is being held virtually. The purpose of the meeting is to conduct the school district's business, and it is not a community hearing. However, we do invite your participation during our meetings. You may request formal placement on the agenda. A form is available on our website under the Board of Education link. Tonight, there are no citizens who have requested to speak in this way. Citizens may also make a comment at the conclusion of each agenda item, so please use the raise hand option in the Zoom webinar to request to address the board or submit a comment. When you do that, I will ask you to complete a form so that we can include your name in our minutes, and I will unmute you so that you can speak. When addressing the board, please state your name and your relationship to the district, and please limit your comment to 3 minutes. I will remind you when you have 30 seconds remaining. The board's role this evening is to listen carefully and hear your questions and comments. As such, we will not be responding directly to your remarks. If you'd like to share your thoughts with the board but do not wish to speak, please use that raise hand button as well in the Zoom webinar, and the host will ask you to complete a form, and all board members will receive a copy of your comments. We ask that you please keep yourself on mute unless you are speaking. And thank you very much for attending tonight's meeting, either by Zoom, and thank you to all who are watching live on YouTube. Appreciate it. So we will get started with our meeting. And first, I'd like to acknowledge that all board members are present here virtually. And our first item of business is a recognition of our student representatives. And if all of our board members could put themselves on video, and if all of our student representatives could show themselves on video. Let's see when we are sure we have them all. Looks like they're all here. So, and I'll start with this, and then I'll hand off to Dr. Shaner. But so every year we have a student representative from each of our high schools, from Adams, Stony Creek, Rochester, and Ace, and they come to our meetings, and they give us a report. And it's always one of the highlights of our meetings is hearing your reports. And in these reports, they detail everything from sports to academics to clubs, all of the fundraising efforts for things that they're doing at the school, basically any highlights happening at their schools. And we look so forward to these announcements. I always learn something. It's a really insightful way to get inside what's happening at our high schools from a student perspective. They sit at the board table, and they're a great resource. And recently, they've gotten to do a lot of really important things in our community. So they got to all come and see Dr. Shaner receive his official Superintendent of the Year award, which was really exciting, and hopefully it was exciting for them. They've participated in some town hall meetings that we've had online, and they're a really good sounding board whenever we have any questions and need a student perspective. So it takes a lot. I know they're all involved in so many things, and just the fact that they give up their Monday nights to come to a Board of Education meeting is very much appreciated. Not many students get a chance to sit at that table and be a part of that. So really very much appreciate all of them. Typically in person, we would give you all a certificate. We'd all shake your hands. That's not happening now. You'll have your certificates mailed to you. But I did want to say, before I turned it over to Dr. Shaner and Debbie, I wanted to ask all of you if you felt comfortable, if you could just give a perspective to all of us as a board, but especially to the community and everybody who's watching. Really wanted to hear your perspective of resilience. That's something we talked a lot about with kids and teachers and our staff. What does that word mean to you after the last 7 weeks of what you've gone through and what you're looking at to the future? Would love to hear a student perspective on that. And I'll let any of you jump in, because I don't want to pressure all of you to speak if you don't feel comfortable. Just make sure to unmute yourself.
Yeah, so for just as a senior, so I'm a senior this year, um, just talking about resilience, I think in the last 7 weeks I've learned that to be resilient is to understand that like we have lost a lot as a senior class and as just students, but to understand that there are other people that are facing way more problems than we are. So just as this time we've lost a lot, but I think it's important to understand that we shouldn't take the time that we have with friends and family from now on with for granted. So yeah.
That's great. That's great. Anyone else? Sudong?
Yeah, and I'd also like to expand on that. Learning from this experience these past 7 weeks, the most important thing to me is there are things in our lives that we can't control. This being one of them. We can't do anything here except sit here and do what we need to. And the most important thing is that we're most effective with what we can do and what we have, with the resources we have and the time we have. And we just, as Isha said, we can't take anything for granted, and we need to make what we have successful.
That's a great perspective. Thanks. Go ahead, Anu.
Yes, I totally agree with Isha and Sudong. And to expand on that, I've seen from all the students in our district showing resilience in that they're choosing to be assets to our community rather than focusing on all the things that we may or may not have been missing out on if our senior year for me and the rest of the school year has progressed as normal. We are choosing to rather appreciate, like as the other two have said, what we do have now, and to focus on what we can and appreciate all the time that we do have to take it in and see ourselves as a community rather than just individuals.
That's great. Thank you.
I mean, they all kind of said it good, but it's just kind of like this isn't easy for any of us, and just like showing up now is kind of just showing that we're all still a part of this, and still want to be a part of this, and it's just nice. Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Henry. Well, on behalf of the Board of Education, I wanted to thank, so we have from ACE, we have Henry Paruk, from Adams, Sudong Kim, from Rochester High, Anu Yadukuri, and from Stony Creek, Isha Mendonza. And thank you so much for being part of our lives for this school year. Really appreciate it. Dr. Shaner, do you want to say a few words?
Yeah, I do. Thank you, Kristen. We often talk about our compelling why, like why we do what we do, and to me, these student reps are just a glowing example of that. You're right; these are difficult times, but I hope each and every one of you know that you're an inspiration to us. There's nothing like coming to a board meeting and saying hello, or for that matter, going to the Rensen and seeing your face down there to support me, which I greatly appreciate, and represent the district most importantly. So as you take leave from us, know that we're with you, know that we love you, and you inspire us. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Debbie, did you want to say a few words?
Well, I just want to echo what Dr. Shaner said. You bring us to a place where we find the greatest joy in our work, because you're our future and we love you. We're so incredibly proud of you. We know that your futures are going to be destined to do amazing things. And I love hearing your take on this whole situation, because when you leave Rochester or you come back, hopefully, and visit us when you are in college or on your next journey, that you know that we will always be there for you. And we look forward to seeing you very, very soon. Thank you.
Thanks so much. And thanks to the four of you. You're welcome to stay on for the rest of our meeting, or you can go do probably many other things this evening, but we'll be in touch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys. Next up, item B under Spotlight on Success, we are going to hear about our music program. Lori.
Great. Thank you, Kristen. Good evening, everyone. We are truly honored to be highlighting our district's music program tonight. First, we're going to be showing a recording with 3 students from Rochester High School. They will be performing an excerpt from Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture. The students in the performance are Maya Shi on clarinet 1 and 3, Hannah Sherman on the bass clarinet, and Derek Snyder on clarinet 2. Following the video, we'll be joined by students Maya Shi from Rochester High School Band and Sophia Wall from the Stony Creek High School Choir, who will be speaking about their experiences in Rochester High School's music program. And that's not all. To wrap it all up, we will then welcome Erin Holden, the Rochester Community School District's K-12 music coordinator. So at this time, we'll watch the video first.
Music has always been an integral part of my life, but looking back at my 12 years as an RCS student, this music program really played a crucial role in cultivating my passion. In my days at Hampton Elementary, there were always opportunities for students to explore a variety of arts, from visual to performing. To me in particular, I naturally gravitated to the instruments that were provided. Whether it was the before school xylophone sessions or the infamous recorder karate in 5th grade, I was encouraged by my teacher, Mr. Bizet, to continue with my interests regardless of the mistakes I made along the way. By the time I entered middle school, band was already the obvious choice for me. While at Ruther, I grew acquainted with the clarinet, not because it was destiny, but because it was the only instrument I could get a sound out of. While I was still a beginner at the instrument, it could barely get through "Do you want to build a snowman?" without being compared to a dying bird by my friends. I found that my efforts were rewarded with praise from my director, Mrs. Holden, nonetheless. This sort of encouraging attitude is very consistent throughout the music program at RCS. Whereas some districts, only the most competitive, and this is how a love for music can truly develop. My first memories of Rochester High School actually took place in the summer before the academic year even started, these being of my freshman year at marching band. For the first time, I was playing with students of all ages and came across so many impressive people who had their own unique goals in mind. It didn't pursuing a performance major in college and was glad to help those who are new to the program, no matter what their background was. I found myself eager to practice and improve, not only because I was inspired by the upperclassmen and my band director, Mr. Uhrig, but because I was given many chances to push my limits and grow as an individual. From the morning rehearsals at 6:20 a.m. to parades in the snow with fingerless gloves and other musical groups like the Wind Ensemble or Pit Orchestra, the music program at RCS really gave me something new to look forward to. Most of all, it became a second family that I could turn towards in my time of need. It's safe to say that I would not be the person I am today without music. And Rochester Community Schools provided me with the right environment to foster this passion. While I'm not currently seeking to specialize in it at university, much to my band director's dismay, it will always be a part of my life, regardless of what my future may be.
Good evening. Thank you for inviting me to speak. My name is Sophia Wall, and I am a senior at Stony Creek High School. Music education has had a huge impact on my life. Without RCS's music program, it is safe for me to say that I would not be the same person that I am today. My journey and passion for music began in kindergarten at North Hill Elementary. We were taught the basics of music in fun and creative ways, like learning how to play the recorder and the ukulele. At Hart Middle School, I decided to join choir, not knowing that choir would become such a huge part of my life. Mr. Zirkin was truly inspiring as a teacher. He taught us how to work together and sing as a group. He prepared us for what we would experience in just a few short years. High school is such a daunting time in most students' lives, but having the stability and consistency of choir or band in your schedule is a game changer. I knew that when I walked into the choir room, I was going to see my friends, and as the years went on, my family. Dr. Ulrich taught us with so much passion and knowledge and truly was the catalyst to my love of choral music. Every day, the choir room offered a new challenge that my team not only learned from, but worked together to solve. The combination of RCS and Dr. Ulrich's reputation has given us numerous opportunities, like performing with the Pope's choir that frequents the Sistine Chapel at the Detroit Opera House and with the Detroit Chamber Winds, just to name a couple. I owe so much to and am so grateful for Rochester Community Schools music program. Thank you for the memories, the learning, incredible opportunities, and lifelong lessons. We are truly one of the best communities for music education. Thank you.
I'm so proud of our students. They're such a great reflection of the work that our talented staff puts into our programs. And I'm so pleased to be here tonight with you to share some incredible news. The Rochester Community Schools has been designated as a best community for music education by the NAM Foundation. RCS earned this honor in 2014, and then we've earned it each year since 2016. To qualify for this designation, districts must answer detailed questions about funding, graduation requirements, music course offerings, and student participation. We are so thrilled to be one of only 14 districts in the state of Michigan to receive this honor. We thank the board, Dr. Shaner, administration, and our parent community for your incredible support of music education in Rochester Community Schools. During our remote learning, the K-12 music team has been meeting weekly as a full staff and in small groups to plan for our kids. We've been working hard to stay connected with students through different avenues like remote lessons, Zoom meetings, playing initiatives like #Play on the Porch, Zoom tuning, Zoom lunches, and our district-wide virtual music lecture series, Thursdays at 3 p.m. This Thursday, we're featuring RCS grads John Rapson and Steve Zarnecki, who are now both performing on Broadway. The real magic of music is in the live collaboration with our students. Maya, Hannah, and Derek did a great job with their quartet tonight. We miss all of our kids, and we just can't wait to be together with them again, doing what we love, and that's making incredible music.
Thank you, Erin. Thank you, Kristen. It's back to you if you'd like.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you so much, Erin. Thanks for being here. To the students, thank you so much for detailing your stories just about how music education has shaped you and whether or not you continue with it in the years to come. I feel like your stories show us right now that it's really impacted you no matter what you do in life. Most of you know, I have my very own band student here in my home. So everything that you're saying, Erin, about the remote learning and all of the ways that, because I did, one of my first thoughts was, okay, how are we going to do band remotely? But lots of fun things that you all have been doing. I know that a week ago or something, I heard my daughter was listening to, I know she was listening to the Beatles, and I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm doing my band. I think it was an assignment where they were given different music and they had to pick out different things. So it was a really creative way to keep the kids engaged. And I really appreciate that a lot and everything that you do. And I can't wait to get back to a day where we can have live concerts and performances, because it's definitely one of the highlights for us for sure. So thank you for all that you do, and please pass our thanks on to your team, Erin.
Kristen, if I might, I just,
Yeah.
Aaron, appreciate everything you do, and to the kids and fellow band kids, trumpet player back in the day. I know how impactful that is to each and every one of you, and just know that we're very, very proud of you.
For sure. Do any of my colleagues have anything that they wanted to add?
Yeah, I did.
Scott?
I just wanted to double down on Aaron. Your leadership in this space has been awesome, and just the social proof of that is just what I've seen out of these two young ladies here, and then the comments I've heard from the rest of the group. And to Sophia and Maya, one of the things I really appreciated about what you just did, that really has nothing to do with band, but maybe it does. This is why taking on a discipline matters, is the level of preparation that you put in with what you said. I can tell that you both thought out your words very carefully, and you put a lot of thought into it, and every word mattered, and it was meaningful, and that's going to matter for you as life goes forward too, as Kristen mentioned earlier. So thanks a lot for doing that. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Scott. All right. And thanks, Maya and Sophia and Aaron, for joining us. You're excused now if you'd like to be.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks. Have a good night, you guys.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right. We'll get through the rest of our meeting. So next item on the agenda is communications. Secretary of the Board of Education, Michelle.
Good evening. Since our last meeting, we've received 2 communications. One from Donald McLaughlin regarding accessing our April 27th work session video. And the other one was from Gregory Urban regarding a coach contract.
Thanks, Michelle. Citizens requesting placement on the agenda tonight. We have no citizens that have requested placement at this spot on our agenda. Members of the Board of Education, please reference any emails that you have personally received, and these would be emails that weren't sent to the entire board through the Board of Education link. So I'll begin with that. I received and shared with the Board of Education and administration emails related to the leadership at Delta Kelly from the following individuals since our last meeting, and this is through Thursday night. Ann Montour, Paola Palende, the Stalin family, Jen Colarosi, Matt and Amanda McPeak, Amanda Quinlan, Jennifer Solden, Suzanne Sebastian, Dawn Kelly, and Laura Cox. Any other board members have any communications they wish to share? Barb?
Yes, I just received one from Mr. Mark Katz, the Oakland County School Board president, regarding an MASB meeting.
Great, thank you. Any other board member communications to share? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda. That is item 5, consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature by the Board of Education and will be acted upon by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If any member of the board or any citizen requests separate discussion of an item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be the first item of business under the new business portion of the agenda. Item A, current bills payable for April 1st, 2020 through April 30th, 2020 in the amount of $4,305,452.62. Item B, Board of Education regular meeting minutes for April 13th, 2020. Item C, Board of Education work session minutes for April 27th, 2020. And item D, reaffirmation of the parental and family involvement policy 2102. Would any board member like to remove an item for discussion? Would any member of the public like to remove any item for discussion? All right. Seeing no hands raised here, we'll take a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented, moved by Scott, seconded by Kevin. And all of those in favor, please unmute and say aye.
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 And that is a 7-0 vote. That is approved. Next item in the agenda is item 6, reports. So we have 3 reports tonight, and we'll start with Dr. Shaner, the Superintendent Steering Committee meeting report.
Thank you, Madam President. On April 27th, the Superintendent Steering Committee met. We talked about construction, the COVID-19 task force, and that is it. Thank you.
All right, and Dana Taylor, you're up next.
Thank you. The Superintendent's Business Operations and Support Committee met on April 20th, 2020, and reviewed the estimated cost of the COVID-19 response, the status of the food service preparation and distribution operation, the status of cleaning and sanitizing buildings, the transportation agreement during shutdown, construction timelines, and the online process for student enrollment. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. And Beth Davis.
Thank you. The Superintendent's Policy and Curriculum Committee met on April 21st. We discussed remote learning, the budget, caring steps, the food service contract, the reaffirmation of the parental and family engagement policy, and the transportation contract.
Great. Thank you all for those reports. Our next item on the agenda is new business. We have 2 items under new business. So first is a human resources report. This is an action item, and we will hand this to you, Beth.
Thank you again. This evening, we have 1 REA resignation. Carrie Garmo, 2nd grade teacher at Hamlin, submitted her letter of resignation effective at the end of the school year. Ms. Garmo has been with the district since August of 2016. We have 3 REA retirements. Pamela Glazier, English language learner teacher at West Middle School. She has submitted her letter of retirement effective at the end of the school year and has been with the district since November of 1994. Ann Thompson, 5th grade teacher at Hamlin Elementary, submitted her letter of resignation effective the end of the school year and has been with the district since September of 1987. And Catherine Zald, learning consultant at University Hills Elementary, submitted her letter of retirement effective at the end of the school year, and Ms. Zald has been with the district since August of 1991. Thank you.
Thanks so much. So I'll take a motion to approve the human resources report as presented. Moved by Barb, seconded by Michelle. Discussion on that report. Any questions or comments? Seeing no discussion, I'll take a, we'll see. Is there any comment from the public on this report? On the human resources report? If there is a comment on or a question on this particular item, you can raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, I'll take a vote on this. So all board members, please unmute, and all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? That is a 7-0 vote. Thank you, Beth. Next is item B, bid awards. This is an action item. Dana, we'll let you take this one away.
Thank you. There are 5 bid awards being presented tonight for your approval. Beginning with landscaping, on July 18th, 2019, the district advertised a request for proposals for landscaping improvements in the local publication, the Rochester Post, and posted RFP documents on the purchasing pages of the district's website, the State of Michigan Procurement website, and BidNet Direct. The bidding closed on August 1st, 2019, and 3 proposals were found to be initially responsive. The board awarded the landscaping contract on August 19th, 2019 to KLM Landscape. The original scope of the project approved by the board on August 19th included landscaping improvements around the entrances, the main entrances of 7 school buildings: Stony Creek, Hart Middle School, Brewster, Delta Kelly, Meadowbrook, North Hill, and University Hills Elementary School. The district released a contract at that time for 5 of the 7 buildings. The Brewster and University Hills projects are now ready for landscaping, and we recommend proceeding with the original specifications for those 2 remaining buildings. Based on this information, we recommend the district award the remaining 2 buildings in the Landscaping Improvements 2019 project to KLM Landscape in the amount of $87,044.50 and to approve a contingency amount of $4,400 for a total project amount not to exceed $91,444.50. And the source of the funding is the 2019 Capital Projects Fund. Are there any questions on the landscaping project before we move on? Okay, the next project is a school bus purchase. The district owns and operates a fleet of 124 school buses. We are recommending the purchase of 4 47 passenger buses to replace 4 47 passenger buses that have reached the end of their useful life. The buses will be purchased through the Michigan School Business Officials Bus Cooperative, and the fee for that service is $1,250. We are recommending that the buses be purchased from Midwest Transit Equipment. Midwest Transit is the only bidder that met the district's standard specification for buses, which enables the district to standardize the parts inventory and maximize the mechanics' time. Midwest Transit provides the most comprehensive warranty program of all the bidders, including a 5-year towing service and the ability to house warranty parts on site at the district bus garage. Based on this information, we recommend the district purchase 4 school buses from Midwest Transit Equipment in the amount not to exceed $399,896 as per the MSBO bus purchase bid program, plus the MSBO cooperative bus bid fee of $1,250 for a total of $401,146, and the source of funding is the 2019 Capital Projects Fund. Are there any questions on the bus purchase?
I had one. I think the last time that we purchased buses, we moved to gasoline versus diesel. And I believe, if I'm reading this quote right, that these are gas as well. And I just wondered if we've been able to, if we receive feedback from the drivers, the mechanics, that this is the way we want to continue and that they're happy with that and they're easier to work on.
Sure, thank you, Michelle. I think if you ask the bus drivers and the mechanics, they love the gas buses. They're just, they're easier to work on and they're fuel efficient. They're just, it's a nice product and everybody still is very favorable for gas buses. Thank you for that. Any other questions on the buses? Moving on to curriculum materials.
Hold on. Dana,
just
real quick on the gas versus diesel. What's the proportion now? Are we slowly ramping up the number of gasoline buses we have and winding down the number of diesel buses?
Yeah, so so the first 28 buses that we bought out of bond funds were diesel, and then we switched over after that. So it's a little less than half now are gas buses.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I have one additional question. Sorry, Dana. So do you, you said less than half are, so how much of the fleet is left that you anticipate need to be replaced? And how?
So let's see, 68, hold on. We have, let me get my calculator out. So we, let's see, 68 minus 24. 44. So 48 buses are gas now.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got about 76 left to purchase. And, you know, before the COVID-19 crisis, we were, you know, we were budgeting in general fund enough budget to replace about 10 buses a year. So that would keep us on the path of retiring buses that are past or approaching the end of their useful life. All bets are off now, but that would be our desire to purchase those buses, and we can't buy buses with sinking fund money. So, you know, we'll just see how it goes, but it's in the district's best interest to keep those up. So we'll figure out how to purchase them one way or another, whether it's an installment note or, something like that to refresh our bus fleet.
Okay, I was just curious how many were left that still needed to be replaced. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions on buses? Okay, thank you. Moving on to curriculum materials. On February 27th, 2020, the district advertised a request for bids for reading recovery books in the Rochester Post and posted the bid documents on the purchasing pages of the district's website and BidNet Direct. Bidding closed on March 12th, 2020, and the district received no responses. The district requested quotes from 2 vendors after bidding closed. The purchase is for sets of reading recovery books, which will be implemented in the 2021 school year in first grade classrooms district-wide. The number of sections will determine the number of books needed. The items selected are approved by the National Council of Reading Recovery. Quotes were reviewed and evaluated by the district's Executive Director for Instructional Practices K-12 and the Early Literacy Coach. Compliance with bid requirements was reviewed by the district's purchasing supervisor. Based on this information, we recommend that the district purchase reading recovery books from Reading Books in an amount not to exceed $48,451.50. And the source of funding is the general fund. Are there any questions on the reading recovery books?
Dana, I was curious, in those sets, it says there's 237 books. Are they all different titles, or do they come in, like 5 of the same title?
I think they're the same. I'm assuming they're the same sets. Like each classroom would get the same set of books, but maybe Debbie can address that.
And let me just ask my follow-up before, because I think it all goes together. It looked like we were buying 24 sets, so I just wondered how those were being distributed, if we already own some, or how they were being distributed across the district.
I believe some have been owned already, purchased. These are classroom sets, so there's multiple copies of the selections that are available for these 24 classrooms.
So just one more then. Do we only have 24 first grade classrooms, or are there more than that in the district?
I believe that some of the kits had already been purchased. Some of our buildings have had reading recovery a little bit further along, but they were all grant funded at the time that we were able to do those. So that's why some of our programs that have had reading recovery at a longer period of time were able to do so.
And that's a good point, Debbie. These are also grant funded by the Early Literacy Grant. And the amount, the $48,451.50, is to enable the district to purchase up to 48 sets. So the quote was for 24, but the vendor will keep that pricing. It just depends on the number of sections needed. So we'll just buy however many we need for all of those classrooms to have a set.
Mike.
Oh, no, I was just giving Dana a thumbs up.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. So moving on to the community education brochure. On February 27th, 2020, the district advertised a request for bids for community education brochure printing in the Rochester Post and posted bid documents on the purchasing pages of the district's website and BidNet Direct. Bidding closed on March 12th, 2020, and the district received 4 responses. This purchase is for printing brochures beginning with the 2020-21 year and has an option to renew the contract each year for a maximum of 4 additional years. So it's a 1-year contract with 4 1-year extensions. The current practice is to produce the brochure 3 times during a fiscal year for fall, winter, spring, and summer at 64 pages, but bids for additional page formats were also requested and included in the bid summary. Bids were reviewed and evaluated by the district's enrichment and athletics supervisor, and compliance with bid requirements were reviewed by the district's purchasing supervisor. Based on this information, we recommend that the district award a contract to NTVB Media for the community education brochure printing for the 2020-2021 fiscal year in an amount not to exceed $12,955.52 per printing. The source of funding is the general fund. Are there any questions on the brochure printing?
Dan, my only question was, does the contract require us to actually print 3 times a year, or is it good if we only went once a year? I'm just thinking if this COVID-19 and we didn't put something out for a semester, does that matter?
Yeah, the agreement is for up to 3 printings a year, and they just charge us by the printing. So that's certainly something that we'll consider.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions on the brochure? Okay, moving on to cafeteria serving areas. On April 7th, 2020, the district advertised a request for proposal for serving area improvements in the Rochester Post and posted bid documents on the purchasing pages of the district's website, Sigma, and BidNet Direct. The district received 2 responsive bids and 1 non-responsive bid on the due date, and a public opening was conducted via Zoom on April 21st, 2020. The project includes serving area upgrades at Rochester High School and Adams High School. 2 alternates were selected. Alternate 1 is to extend the new flooring at Adams High School from the serving area to include the alcove, and cafeteria flooring, which will match the existing flooring at RHS. Alternate 3A is to extend the epoxy flooring into the kitchen to be installed over the existing flooring at Adams High School. And this is something that we've been trying to do is wherever we can, we put epoxy flooring in kitchens just because it's a lot easier to clean. It's a very nice product. Proposals were evaluated by the district's Director of Capital Projects and Facilities, and compliance with bid requirements was reviewed by the district's purchasing supervisor. Based on this information, we recommend the district award the serving area upgrades project to Fairview Construction Services in the amount of $937,582 and to approve a contingency in the amount of $46,879.10 for a total project amount not to exceed $984,461.10. The source of funding is the food service fund. And you might remember that since the food service program is very heavily regulated, and so these projects had to be approved by MDE before we could bring them to you for approval. We have received approval, and this is also addressing excess fund balance in the food service program. And it's also addressing using food service funds to improve the food service program. So are there any questions on the serving area upgrades?
Dana, of course I have a question. The alternates that we did not go with, what were those and why did we not utilize them?
That would be a great question for Pete. I see he's in the Hollywood Squares. So, hey, Pete, can you unmute?
Hello, I can. I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We can't see you.
I can turn my video on if you want.
Great. Thank you.
Hey there. Hello. The one add-on was to epoxy. Well, the option that we're doing the epoxy and at Adams, the add alternate was to remove the tile underneath, and we're just going to go right over it. So it was an add alternate to remove all the tile, and we don't think we have to do that from our experience. The architect just had put that in there to in case we wanted to consider that add alternate. And the second add alternate was to extend when we do the LVT and the cafeteria flooring to into the school store. So here again, it's not related to food service. So Pasquale was going to look at funding that through his own budget. So we got a separate price for that.
I'm sorry, that I didn't catch it. I don't know if my end broke up. What was it? Was it for the school store? Is that what you said?
The school store butts up to where the cafeteria flooring is, if you're familiar with that. So while we were doing that part, Pasquale asked us if we could include that as an ad alternate or bid alternate. And we said, sure. So it's true, but here again, it's not part of the food service fund, so it can't be funded through food service fund dollars. So Pasquale looked at funding that through his fund. So we had it quoted separately, knowing it wouldn't be part of the food service fund project.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right. So I think that having heard the details of all of these bid awards, that was all of them, right, Dana? I wanted to make sure I didn't cut you off. Okay, sorry. Okay. So having heard the details of all of these and asking questions, I'll take a motion to approve the bid awards as presented. Moved by Barb, seconded by Kevin. And is there any other discussion on these items, or is there any discussion or questions from the public on these bid awards? All right, seeing none, we'll take a vote. If all board members can unmute, and all of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed? That is a 7-0 vote. All right, that concludes our new business portion of the meeting. So now we are on to additional business, and item A is citizens present at the meeting. So if you are attending our meeting in the Zoom chat room and you had a comment or a question, now is when you would hit the raise your hand button, and we will unmute you and you can speak, and we'll give you a few minutes. And then after this, we will have members of the administration comments and members of the Board of Education comments before we go to announcements. Okay, I'm going to see if I do this right. Because I do see a hand raised. Emily.
Yes.
Emily, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. Yeah. Okay. Emily. Okay, so go ahead. You have, if you can just state your name and your relationship to the district, and you have 3 minutes.
Yes. My name's Emily Stowe, and I'm a parent at Delta Kelly Elementary School. And I just wanted to say thank you to all of you. Thank you to the Board of Education. Thank you to the administration for taking our letters, for listening to us, and just to hear our support for our administrators. So that's basically all I wanted to say. I just wanted to say thank you.
Great. Thank you. I think those are all the hands that I see raised, but I'm going to go on to the comments from the administrators, and I will check back just in case, because I don't want to assume that this is very easy for everyone to do. So administration comments.
Madam President, a couple
Dr.
of things.
Shaner.
Thank you. Last week, we had our town hall with our seniors and their parents, and we were pleased to be joined by Congresswoman Slotkin, Senator McMurrow sent a video, as well as Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist, who joined us. And also Michael Weber was supposed to join us as well. Unfortunately, him and Senator McMurrow got called away, but we appreciate the entire delegation's support of our seniors in this difficult time, including Representative Weber, Senator McMurrow, Lieutenant Governor, and of course, Congresswoman Slotkin, and weighing in to support our seniors. It was a difficult conversation. We did let our seniors know that at this point, prom in the sense that that they know it would probably not happen, being that there are no venues available. But we'll continue to look for alternative ways for us to celebrate them as a community. We are also working on graduation. We don't know what that's going to look like yet. We have a committee of parents, administrators, relatively large team working on that to try to be creative and come up with something special for that event. Starting on March the 12th, we have our honors convocations. They will be virtual. They'll be live, but they'll be virtual. And we look forward to seeing how that's going to work. So please stay tuned for more. I appreciate all the people that joined us for our town halls, both with our seniors and then later on in the week with our parents who had questions about a multitude of topics. Coming up, we'll be doing town halls with our students and their parents that are transitioning either into middle school or into high school. And there's more to come on that. Also, as you might know, it's Teacher Appreciation Week. And really want to extend our gratitude and our appreciation for everything that our teachers have done, not only in the past 7 weeks, but day in and day out in support of kids. The love and the inspiration that they show, the connections they make and the relationships that they build are irreplaceable. And as we're finding out on a daily basis, are critical to the health and well-being of our students and really to the stability of our community. So we appreciate them. And I am told on good information that if you look at either Stony Creek, Adams, or Rochester High this evening, there'll be a special teacher appreciation display going on there. I'll leave it at that. It is creative and I think will be very, very much appreciated, but I hope after dark you're able to check it out and just look to the auditorium area at all three of those schools and you'll see what's going on. And it's my understanding that Mr. Shelson at Stony Creek now knows how to get to the roof of that building. So again, appreciation to all of our instructional staff, our everybody across the district for all of their commitment. And we look forward to celebrating them this week. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Shaner. Debbie.
Thank you, Kristen. I just wanted to alert the community that there's an opportunity right now. Our enrollment link is live and well, and we really appreciate the community's support. If you have neighbors that have students that are coming to school in the fall, that link is available on our website. Our elementary buildings are making connections with families about upcoming kindergartners and transitional kindergartners. So we really appreciate if you know families to please have them look at that live link and feel free to call the administration center or the building that you will be attending to make sure you can get all the information. We're preparing, we're busy getting ready for next school year. Also, we'd like to acknowledge that on Thursday of last week, we had another webinar for our middle schoolers from the Trauma Response Center. And we are still collaborating very closely with the partnership there for social emotional wellness that's essential to the work and what we're all experiencing right now. So more of those sessions will be coming. We're going to be meeting with the task force tomorrow to talk about going forward. And with Teacher Appreciation Week upon us, we're looking for some personalized opportunities for our staff as well. They're giving and doing such amazing things. We want to make sure that we're giving to them and taking good care of them as well. So more information is coming on that. And Dr. Shaner talked about the lights. I only wish I could be out tonight to see whatever that's going to be. But I know there's lawn signs. I'm watching on Facebook and on Twitter, the gestures that are being made to honor all of our instructional staff and our teachers, our administrators. This is a very special time for our community. This is an example of what's best about public education and the gratitude to everyone. I'd also like to do a shout out to Doug Hill, our REA president. He's been integral in a lot of conversations that we've been having to ensure that we have a good landscape of how best to support our teachers and make sure that we're taking care of everyone so that we can ultimately do what's best for kids. So we thank all of our instructional staff on behalf of the cabinet. We are honored and very excited to celebrate Teacher Appreciation Week with you. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And I do see another hand raised from our audience. So Stacy Miller,
Hear me?
Stacy, yeah, we hear you. If you can state your name, relationship to the district, and you have 3 minutes.
Sure, thank you very much. My name is Stacy Miller, a Sorota, and I am a parent of a 5th grader at Delta Kelly. I wanted to first thank you all again for all the hard work that you guys are doing, as another parent had mentioned. I also want to take this moment to thank the top administration. My son is a 5th grader at Delta Kelly, so we've gone through there now 6 years, nearly. Hopefully we'll complete it soon. I want to thank you for your support. Thank the top administration at Delta Kelly over the last 3-4 years. I don't want to leave this school without acknowledging some new programs that came into Delta Kelly that would not happen with the administration had. Include the introduction of the first Lego League, Robotic League, which was started 2 years ago, that I was thankful to be able to coach and also Salmon in the Flat program that started this year to help the ministry and Delta Kelly, as well as we had our first American Red Cross blood drive, which is a lifesaver, as we all know. So with having I'm only in last child at Delta Kelly, I will say farewell, and I hope that future families coming into Delta Kelly have the best administration like we did for the last few years. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Stacy. Any other administration comments? Comments from the Board of Education? Michelle.
I just wanted to also give a big thank you and appreciation for our teachers and all that they do every day for our students. I also wanted to just let you know that the Rochester Youth Assistant is continuing to meet. They recently had a Zoom meeting, much like we are, to continue talking about ways that they can serve the students in our district.
Great, thanks. That's really important work. Thank you for doing that. Any other board member comments? Just go ahead and raise your hand and don't be shy. We're good? Okay, and any other administration comments or anything? I'll echo the thanks to the teachers, and now I'm gonna have to go for a little drive and see what this big surprise is on the high schools. Thanks for giving me something to do this evening. Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you to all the teachers. The work you're doing is just, I can't even describe it in words. It was pretty unimaginable when all of this first came up 7 or 8 weeks ago. Appreciate so much everything that you're doing for all of our kids every day. And if I don't see any other comments from us or from the audience, so I will mention announcements upcoming. So as Dr. Shaner said, we'll have more information to come on the honors convocation ceremonies that are happening next week. I know details are coming together for those, so we'll get you that information. And then May 18th is our Board of Education work session, and that's at 7 p.m., another Monday. And seeing nothing else, I'll take a motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:02. Moved by Michelle, seconded by Kevin. Please unmute, and all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Thanks, everyone, and have a good night.
Thanks, Kristen.
Take care.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Happy birthday, Mike.
Oh, happy birthday, bud.
Thank you.